Hey guys, this is your help video for Navigator session 14. We are working on multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. Make sure you watch all of this or kind of fill it in as we're going through so that it helps you fill in some of these answers. So your opening problem, you need to think about what do you need to do, what do you need to multiply or divide in order to move from one number to the next that you see in these patterns. And so you're just following the arrows that you have. Um, you can think about division typically makes things smaller, right? When we're dealing with these decimals and even whole numbers, multiplication would make things larger. A hint that I put in there is that we're dealing with powers of 10. So these are all going to be numbers that you fill in these boxes here that are numbers like 10 or 100 or 1,000. So let me grab a marker here. Let's say you even had a number like 25. Well, when I multiply 25 times 10, we know that we can really just add a 0 onto the 25. It just becomes 250. And what really happens is there was a decimal back here behind the 25, and that decimal shifts one place to the right. So on this one down here, I know it's division because I started at 700 something, and I'm ending up at 75. It has all the same digits. The 7, the 5, the 9, and the 3 are all still there. The only thing that's different is that that decimal moved from being in between the 9 and the 3 to now it's between the 5 and the 9. And so it shifted one place over to the left. And so when I'm dealing with powers of 10, the way our place value system works is that if you move one place, that's a power of 10. So I would say that this is to divide by 10. If I'm moving to the left, it's division. It's making smaller. If I'm moving to the right, it's multiplication because it's getting bigger. So again, you could think in this next number, my decimal's way back here at the very end. So I'm going from really the decimal that was between the 5 and the 9 to now I'm jumping it all the way up here. So it's behind this 0. And so it would have started here and it would have jumped 1, 2, 3 places. Well, 3 tens go 10, 100, 1,000. 3 powers of 10 or 10 to the third power. So I know that this would have been times 1,000. And so you would type those in. This is a Google drawing, and so you'd want to actually open those up and type those in. So you can finish out this thinking about what happens. I did make some notes for you just down here. Further, get my arrow going again. So that you could look at, again, when you're multiplying, you're scooting that decimal to the right. If you multiply by 10, you jump the decimal once. If you multiply by 100, you would jump the decimal twice. If you multiply by 1,000, it would go 3 times. You would move to the right, making bigger. If you're doing division, then it's going to go to the left. If it's dividing by 10, it's going to scoop it 1 time to the left. By 100, it's going to go twice. And then by 1,000, it's going to go 3 times. The number of zeros in your power of 10 tells you how many jumps to make. So if I'm dealing with 1,000, I need to jump, there's 3 zeros in 1,000, I need to jump 3 times. So you can use that to help you as well. So you have, in your work time, you have this puzzle that you need to follow. And so you need to fill in all of these blue boxes. And again, you can click and double click on these and it'll open up a Google drawing. And then you can just type right in these boxes. These are text boxes. So that's how you would go through and solve these. I'm just going to work off of my little marker here. So in this one, I started with a decimal between the 1 and the 2. I have to figure out each time, am I multiplying or dividing? And then what number am I multiplying or dividing by? So I started out with a decimal here in between the 1 and the 2. And then my next number, as I follow my arrows, now the decimal's between the 2 and the 3. And so I could see that it jumped one place to the right. So it's jumping to the right. I know that's multiplication. It jumped one place, so that's multiplying by 10. Several of these have been done for you. I'm using this slash for division. So that's one way that you could enter your divisions, just because there's not a division symbol within your keyboards, and I don't want to have you go and open up an equation editor or anything like that. So it started then 12.3456. It's in between the 2 and the 3. And now over here, it's in between the 3 and the 4. So it had to jump one place again to the right. So to the right, let's multiply. One place would be 10. Then it goes from being in between the 3 and the 4 to being back here between the 5 and the 6. So that would jump once, twice. So it's multiplying twice would be 2 zeros, so that's multiplying by 100. And you're going to continue following your arrows. So you're moving now to the left, and then down, and then to the right, and so on, using those same rules for your powers of 10 to help you figure out what goes where within those, okay? And once you are finished with that, then you just have your reflection. So what patterns have you noticed about multiplying and dividing with decimals with powers of 10? Again, you can think about, well, which way does the decimal move when I'm multiplying? Which way does the decimal move when I'm dividing? If I'm dealing with 10, how many jumps is that? If I'm dealing with 100, how many jumps is that? If I'm dealing with 1,000, how many jumps is that? How do the jumps relate to the number of zeros in the power of 10 that you're working with? I hope that this makes sense. If you have questions, I am doing a Zoom class meeting today at 2 o'clock. So that would be on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. It's optional. You can show up and ask whatever question you need to, or you can just stop by and say hi if you want to say hi. But you can jump in if you're still not quite sure about how to do these types of problems. It's all about moving that decimal, jumping it to the left or to the right each time, counting how many jumps, and matching that with your power of 10. Reach out to me if you need help. We can always set up a help session for you too. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk soon. Bye.